Hello friends, welcome you all in Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj's GMD Arts BW Commerce and Science College, Sinnar, in the EPG Department of Zoology in class TYBSc. Our subject is parasitology. Today's topic is types of host, presented by Srimati D.V. Jangam. In previous lecture, we discussed about the parasites. And in first lecture we have discussed about the relationship among the organisms. In case of parasitology, or in a relationship of parasitology, the two main organisms are important or involved are known as parasites and host. We have already discussed about the types of parasites, how they are classified or how they are divided. Today we are going to see what are the types of host. This is also a important topic in the view of examination. You have to attempt the question for 10 marks. What are the types of host? You have to enlist all the types, or in short note you have to discuss the types of parasites or particular type of parasites for 5 marks. So today's topic is for 15 marks. If you remember well, you will achieve that. So first of all, you have to clear your concepts while one by one types of host. First of all, we are going to see what is host. We all know that host is a organism which get harmed, which get injured in parasitism is known as host, while the other organism get benefited is known as parasite. Host is an organism which naturally have an external and internal environment so that any other tiny small size organism can grow on or in their body by sucking nutrients and blood from host. Types of host. First type is intermediate host. Intermediate host meaning the host is present, or the host which provide environment for the growth of organism, for the growth of parasite to fulfill its need, food, shelter and requirements or nutrients for the parasite. While the parasites dwell their life inside the host or on the host, but they do not choose any sexual life cycle or any stages of sexual life cycle. That means parasites which completes its asexual life cycle inside the host is known as intermediate host. So what is asexual life cycle? Asexual life cycle is a life cycle of organism in which male and female gamete do not get mature. They do not get mature, they do not get fuse, they do not form zygote after fertilization. This type of life cycle is known as asexual life cycle. Then how they can multiply? They can multiply by mitotically. The one cell get divided into two cell, then two cell divided into four cell. Likewise, all the multiplication phase is get on proceed. We have to remember that intermediate host provide nutrition or environment to complete asexual life cycle of parasite. And in other words, the asexual life cycle of parasites completed in a particular host is known as intermediate host. Second one is definitive host. It is exactly opposite to the intermediate host. In a definitive host, parasites shows sexual life cycle. Means parasites shows germination or maturation of gametes, formation of zygote, after fertilization, and then the new organism or new one it get formed. The multiplication phase is of sexual type. So the parasite which shows or a parasite completes its sexual life cycle in an host body. The host is known as definitive host. Third one is reservoir host. Reservoir means storage. The host which is a reservoir of particular parasite is known as reservoir host. The host is a storage of particular parasite is known as reservoir host. We are going to see examples of each one by one. Fourth one is paratenic host. Paratenic host, the host may be or may not be required by the parasite, is known as paratenic host. So first we proceed with intermediate host. The example is Plasmodium vivax, the pathogen of malaria. Intermediate host provides suitable environment to the parasite to complete its asexual life cycle. Example, human is an intermediate host of Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax is a parasite of malarial disease. Parasites of human, they live or they complete their life cycle in human as well as in mosquito. Human is a intermediate host of Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax has two hosts. First one is intermediate host and second one is definitive host. The intermediate host is a human. The parasite completes its asexual life cycle in the body of human, while the parasite or the Plasmodium vivax completes its sexual life cycle inside the mosquito body, which is known as definitive host. Definitive host is a host of parasite in which parasite completes its sexual life cycle. Second one is definitive host. Provide suitable environment to parasite to complete its sexual life cycle. Example, mosquito is a definitive host of Plasmodium vivax. We can see from point 5th in the diagram, the malarial parasite, that is Plasmodium vivax, shows maturation of gametes. The gametes get fused. After fusion, the zygote get formed. Zygote transform into ookinete, then oocyst, and then further the oocyst get burst with numerous trophozoites or numerous sporozoites of Plasmodium vivax. So the example or the type of definitive host is example is mosquito is a definitive host of parasite Plasmodium vivax. You have to remember the definition and the example of types of host. Next one is reservoir host. Organism which serves as a storage of parasite, that is a infectious stage. Storage of parasites means what? Storage meaning when parasite gets stored, whenever it get multiply. The multiplication phase is known as infectious phase or infectious stage. Multiplication means increase the number of parasite or increase the number of itself by the stage or by the phase of multiplication. It can be infect other organism and it can be a storage for a particular organism. For example, whipworm is a example. Whipworm is a parasite which can be found in body of dog. The dog is a reservoir of whipworm. Whipworm is also known as intestinal parasite. Scientific name is Trichuris vulpis, which can infect human. So here you have to remember what is the example of reservoir host. Here dog is a reservoir host of parasite whipworm. Paratenic host. Fourth one is organism provides shelter to the parasite, but parasite do not transform into further stage of development, meaning that the parasite do not require the host. Once parasite visit host body to develop itself, parasite get develop in further stage, get transformed into further stage of development. But in case of paratenic host, parasite only get infect or only get shelter from the host, but they do not get further stage of development. Parasite may or may not required, it can substitute the host, it can be change the host. So the host is known as paratenic host. Example, human and horses are dead ends host for West Nile virus. Human and horses. Basically, the host of West Nile virus is are the Coulson mosquito and birds. Whenever birds and mosquitoes are not available to complete the life cycle or to for the sake of shelter, the virus get inside the body or found the host like human and horses. So the human and horses are known as the dead end of host for Nile virus. Whenever the priority host, that is mosquito and birds, are not available, the parasite infect other host which are known as human or horses, and they are dead ends. The priority host are not available, therefore they move to the other host, so it is known as dead end host. So that to if parasite do not get host, it either it get died or either it should found new host. So the new host or the paratenic host for Nile virus is human and horses. In this today's lecture, you have to prepare with the type of host, what are the type of host, what are their definitions, and what is the proper example. You have to remember the example. In this four type of host, you have to remember what are the stages are included, what is the purpose of that host, what is the purpose of living of that parasite into the host, and likewise you have to add the note on that, and you have to mention the examples. In an examination, you have to face the 10 marks question on type of host. You have to mention all these four types of host, or for 5 marks you have to explain the particular type of host, that is they have asked you, they will ask that what is intermediate host, and explain with example. Then you have to attempt the question for 5 marks. You have to mention what is actual type, what is the definition, how it is get categorized, and how the parasites live inside the host. So how we can know that this is a intermediate host with example. Likewise for the further 3 you have to prepare. So today's topic is done with type of host. You have any queries, any questions, let me ask, or let me know your questions and your suggestions. Okay, thank you so much students. In next lecture we will discuss about next topic. Thank you.